morning, everybody. I just wanted to just get on here and just, talk about a little testimony, and it has to do with prophecy. And sometimes prophecy could be a funny thing, right? Because it's either right or it's wrong, especially when you have people that are close to you. They're the ones that are prophesying over you. And the word tells us to test every word that is spoken to us, right? So the testimony is that somebody was praying over my wife and I, and during that prayer, he prophesied that, my wife's business, which is real estate, she's a realtor, would struggle all the way up till July. And for 2 months, we believed what he told us. We didn't understand what was happening, but we believed what was spoken over us. And so 2 months, we were behind on rent. We didn't know how we were going to pay rent for the following month. We really started to believe that word that was spoken over us. And the funny thing is that sometimes when people are prophesying over other people, instead of it being a prophecy, it can be word curses, right? So my wife started praying against that. She wasn't accepting it anymore, and she was praying to the Lord and telling the Lord, she was breaking the word curse that was spoke over her business and over our life. And we did that. She did that. She prayed and she broke that. And we visited another church, and the pastor calls me up and gives me this amazing word about how our finances are going to start coming through my obedience, right? And that's a whole nother testimony for a different time. But again, right, another prophecy spoken over us. Now, the difference is that between the first prophecy and the second prophecy, right? The first one was someone who was close to us, or we thought was close to us, and really wasn't. So, and then the second one was from a complete stranger I didn't even know. So I'm telling this testimony because even though we trust the people in our lives for that season to speak over us, we have to learn to take what they tell us and take it back to the Lord, because they could be speaking word curses over us, right? And we just believe what they tell us because we think that they're following the Lord closely, and at the end of the day, we really didn't know what was being talked about, because we didn't take it to the Lord first. And that was the first thing we should have done. We should have taken it to the Lord and asked the Lord, like, Lord, is this a real word from you? Because sometimes when we're prophesying over other people, we're prophesying out of our own emotions, and we're prophesying out of, just for the sake of prophesying. Just because everyone in the church is getting a word, sometimes that happens that way. And we got to learn how to really take that to the Lord and say, Lord, is this what you're giving us? Now, granted, the end of this testimony gets wild because, again, through the obedience, right, the Lord showed out and He started pouring into our lives. And that 2 months of rent that we were going to be behind all of a sudden was paid through God using other people to bless us, right? And all of a sudden my wife's as a realtor, clients started coming in. She started selling a little bit more houses. We were able to catch up on everything and then have some left over, right, to start the process of even trying to buy our own home, because we don't even own our own home yet. We're still renters. And through that, now we're going through the process of being able to own our first home. So this testimony is just for the people who are getting prophesied over. I encourage you just to pray about it, take it back to the Lord, and let the Lord tell you, like, hey, that was me. Or let the Lord tell you, like, hey, that wasn't me. You don't need to listen to that. It was a word curse. You need to just go ahead and break it. So I just want to encourage you guys to just test every word. Take it back to Scripture. Because if it's a prophecy, it's in that Scripture. So God bless and have a good day.